Hello guys, welcome to Revival Hour. This is Goshen City. In today's message, Reverend Sam Oye preached about the 10 major triggers of marital instabilities. He highlighted and explained extensively 10 major things that can make marital home unstable and also that can make relationship unstable. Kindly stay tuned as we dive into this message. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to.
Recent research has shown about 12 major causes of divorce. About 12 major causes of divorce. And one of the things that I intend to do today is to highlight a few of them. One of them is what we call purposelessness. Purposelessness. And what that suggests is that when you get into marriage with someone who doesn't know why he or she is here, the person is likely going to mess up with why you are here. If anyone gets into marriage and doesn't know why marriage exists, the person has the potential to also destroy whatever it is that you seek to build in marriage. So purposelessness has been found to be a major cause of divorce. Living without goals, dating without intention, pursuing relationship without a shared mission. Whenever we have such kind of a situation, it always creates imbalance in relationship. Number two is lack of wisdom. It has been discovered that when you get into a relationship with a fool, the presence of a fool in your relationship has the potential to escalate crisis, introduce confusion, and bring about conflict. The presence of a fool is a burden to any relationship. So it is not wisdom for you to get into a relationship with anyone that you perceive to lack wisdom. And I'm not talking about education, because we have a lot of individuals who are educated but not wise. So it's critical for you to discern wisdom in whosoever you want to settle with, because the Bible says it's by wisdom that a house is built. You can be a good prayer warrior. You can be somebody who's very good at fasting. But when it comes to building marriage, the Bible says it's by wisdom that a house is built. The Bible says husbands should dwell with their wives according to knowledge. So it is very critical that you consider what you call the Trinity of reality and the Trinity of insight. The Trinity of insight includes knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. If your marriage is going to be strong, you need knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Otherwise, there will be constant arguments, impulsive reactions, and there'll be refusal to learn and grow. Never forget that. Number three, it's been found out that relationships and marriages that have challenges always have one or two parties who have what we call a proclivity to making wrong choices and decisions constantly. Wrong choices and decisions constantly. The person is always making the wrong moves, always making the wrong statement, always taking the wrong steps. When you are in relationship with someone who has a penchant for making wrong decisions, wrong choices, it will bring a lot of instability into your marriage and your relationship. Individuals like that bring in so much instability into the marriage. Number four, it's been discovered that marriage and relationships that usually end up in breakup and divorce usually have one or two individuals who have a very strong commitment to living an unproductive life. They are present but not productive. They are busy but not productive. They literally bring almost nothing into the relationship. They are lazy, they are dependent, they procrastinate a lot, they lack drive, there's no ambition, they don't go for anything. You have to drive them, you have to prod them, you have to push them. At a slight resistance, they will quit, back off, and come back home, because again, they rely on what you bring into the relationship. It sounds to me like someone recognizes some of these things that I've mentioned. If you recognize any of them, just simply let me know that I do. Just if you recognize them in some relationships you've seen, it doesn't have to be yours. Just simply say, Reverend Sam, I recognize that. Number 5, it has been discovered that relationships with high propensity towards misunderstanding always ends up in breakups or divorce. There's always misunderstanding powered by misinterpretation. You always misunderstand me. You always misinterpret my actions, my intentions. You always misinterpret my words, my moves. I lean on something, you misinterpret it. I say something, you misunderstand it. People who have this great tendency towards misunderstanding and misinterpretation usually create imbalance, instability, and eventually they may cause breakups and divorce in marriages and relationships. So it's very critical for you to understand that misunderstanding is powered by miscommunication. It is powered by misinterpretation and misperception. And where that prevails in a relationship, we're bound to have some challenges. Let me share the 6th reason why marriages end up in divorce and relationships end up in divorce. It is called negative influence. When an individual always acts before the person thinks, under strange influences. Some people call that bewitchment, and some call that witchcraft, sorcery, divination. But we're talking about the fact that you always act and then later you come to think. You always do things that causes your partner pain, and then you later realize some will apologize, many never do. On the contrary, some who cause the problem will be the ones who will solicit for your own apology by making sure you feel guilty for what they triggered. All right. Now listen, influence can come from family. It can come from your peers, toxic friends. It can come from religious manipulations. It can come from spiritual oppression. Influences can come from multiple sources. Influences on you that makes you destabilize your relationship. Number 7, one of the major causes of problems in relationships and marriages is what we call self-centeredness. Self-centeredness. Excessive focus on yourself. Self-worship. Self-aggrandizement. Self-propagation. If it's not my way, then everything is going to go in blazes. Everything must just go the way you want it. Have you met anybody like that? It's all about self, excessive focus on self. And one of the things that self-centeredness or selfishness does is that it destroys the bond of intimacy in relationships. No one wants to live with anybody who has a self-centered, self-exalting, self-propagating tendencies. So if you're the kind of person who is self-absorbed, you always want to project everything about yourself. The only voice you hear in your relationship is your voice. You don't hear your partner's voice. It is a major reason why you've created a toxic environment in your relationship. Self-centeredness is always rooted in lack of empathy. People who lack empathy are always self-centered. And one of the things that love does is that love acknowledges your own need, your needs, but at the same time incorporates the need of the other person. In actual fact, A loving person will sometimes sacrifice what you desire in order to make sure the other person is happy. It is called sacrifice. Number 8 reason why relationships and marriages break down is what we call stubbornness. I mentioned a part of that yesterday. Rigidity, inflexibility. Holding on to what you've always believed. Archaic beliefs, toxic beliefs, mindsets that are outdated and should have been thrown into the dustbin of history. You still hold on to mindsets that causes nothing but instability in your relationship, and you protect them. So it's important to know that stubbornness, whether in form of unteachability, pride, rigidity, unforgiveness, unwillingness to apologize, unwillingness to change, unwillingness to accept correction. Let me say it this way: stubbornness destroys relationship. In actual fact, are you aware that stubbornness is almost equal to the sin of witchcraft? Stubbornness is a very terrible thing, and stubbornness has brought down many marriages and relationships. I therefore charge you to embrace humility, embrace flexibility. It's critical. Number 9, one of the major causes of divorce and breakups in relationships is what we call wrong association. You will always go like the companies you keep. We say that association brings about impartation of spirits and behaviors. The Bible puts it this way: evil association corrupts good manner. Some people will tell you that you can sleep with dogs and not pick up fleas. In essence, you will always go like the company you keep. It therefore matters who you hang around with. For those of you who are always having friends whose advice or whose counsel always destabilizes your relationship, by now you should be able to audit your inner cycle, your friends, and know where to put those whose counsels always leads you into trouble. Number 10, abuse. One of the major causes of breakups and divorces is what we call abuse. Whether it's sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, whatever kind of abuse, it is the demeaning of a human being. It destroys trust. No one can trust you if the person feels unsafe with you. So if you're going to have a healthy marriage and relationship, it is very critical for you to avoid these 10 major triggers of instability in marriages and relationships.